Why are razors so expensive? Maybe it's because those billion-dollar shaving companies overload their razors with ridiculous shave tech you don't need. Do you really need a razor with a vibrating handle? Kristen, do you need... Well, maybe we do, actually. A razor with a vibrating handle? That would be kind of fun, but dangerous. Back scratcher and laser pointer? No. Stop paying out of the nose and make the switch to DollarShaveClub.com. DollarShaveClub.com sends amazing quality razors and other cool bathroom stuff right to your door for a couple bucks a month. DollarShaveClub.com doesn't waste their money on ridiculous shave tech gimmicks. That's one of the ways they can charge a fraction of what the big shave companies charge. And signing up couldn't be easier. Just go to DollarShaveClub.com and pick a razor plan. They have 3 to choose from. Then every month, like clockwork, you'll get a package in the mail with Dollar Shave Club blades. That's pretty cool. And they've got other great stuff like Dr. Carver's Easy Shave Butter and One Wipe Charlie's, the peppermint-infused butt wipes for men. Say no to the big shave companies and their ridiculously overpriced shave tech. Join Ask Women and the hundreds of thousands of guys who've upgraded the smarter way to shave. Shave time, shave money. Join DollarShaveClub.com/AskWomen. That's DollarShaveClub.com/AskWomen.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
PodcastOne.com presents the Ask Women Podcast. A place where 2 comics and a professional wing girl get together to dissect the female mind.
You don't know how I feel.
And explain it to men in terms they can actually understand. Boobs. Now, here's the lovely ladies of Ask Women.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ask Women podcast where you get real advice straight from the source. I'm Kristen Carney, a lovely, lovely human being, as I like to say at the beginning of the show, just so you guys know when I say shitty things later on. And of course, I'm here with Marni Kinrys, the best-selling author of Get Inside Her and relationship expert. Yes. And we have with us today host of the podcast Art of Charm, Jordan Harbinger, and I'm so sorry I just hesitated because I wanted to say Carpenter. And I was like, I'm so self-defeating that I was like, don't say Carpenter, don't say Carpenter.
Well, you didn't.
I didn't. But I had to. Thank you. I'm making large strides daily. So you are. We'll get into doing a fuller interview toward the end of the show. But tell us a little bit about exactly what you do.
Sure. So the Art of Charm, aside from being a podcast in iTunes that competes directly with yours,
don't listen to it.
It's not available anywhere in the United States.
Yes, only available in the Kenya Music Store.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys. I run with my Art of Charm team in Los Angeles. We have a residential week-long program, and essentially what that is guys flying from all over the world. I mean, right now we've got like Australia, Mexico, U.S., Canada, the U.K., and South Africa represented all in one program. And this
so
is
they
like
could get your podcast in the Kenyan
they do.
music store.
They could, yeah. If they have iPods over there, it's available.
Right.
And so guys fly in and they stay with us for a week, and my coaches beat them up. And by that I mean you come in and we videotape your body language. We show you approaching female instructors. We break it down. We show you the videotape.
Holy shit.
We change the way you sit, stand, walk, talk.
My cousin did it.
Yeah, her cousin did it.
I sent my cousin on his boot camp. Yeah. They're fantastic. They have the thing
is he a changed man?
He's a tough customer.
Not really. Not just joking.
He's a tough cookie.
He actually has been dating a lot because now he's not working in television and film production anymore, so he has more time because he was working 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, and he had like one day to do his laundry and possibly date a girl.
And I'm sorry, I'm just referring to our last episode from last week. Sorry, it's a weird inside joke.
No but yeah, he came through twice. Your cousin actually came back like a year or two later again and was like, I'm applying. Like he was stacking little baby bricks, which is fine because some people come in and they're like superstars and they want to hone the edge, and some people come in and they're like, yo, I'm divorced after 16 years. I want to learn one thing. How do you meet girls? I've met my girlfriend in high school in 1974, you know, and it's like, dude, internet, ... a million other ways. And these guys have no idea. They're like, they haven't been in the quote unquote like the game for 20 years. And you got to come in and learn I wouldn't even know what to do if I were in their shoes without getting coaching. It's ridiculous. It'd be like me trying to do pre-algebra right now. It's impossible.
Right. No, it's very true.
Where do you start?
I love that.
No, it's true. So the thing is like you have, it's the same thing as a fitness boot camp. You go there and it's an intense workout and you can either take a little bit from it or a lot from it, whatever you are able to take from that week. But no matter what, you're going to learn something 100% about yourself.
Totally.
And then 100% about interacting, approaching, and dating women, which I think it's fantastic. And it's after they do these boot camps, they have follow-up, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's like, okay, go into the world. Now you're on your own.
Right. Yeah. Like, see you later, sucker. No, there's program prep. There's like months of our online academy. There's phone coaching. And then after they leave, there's also our online academy, more phone coaching. We have an alumni network that goes all over the whole world. So there's guys who are like, I'm going to South Africa on a business trip, and guys are like, you can stay with us. We'll take you out to all the coolest places. We'll get you a rental car.
Wow.
Like, there's thousands really of guys, all over the place. So when it's really cool for me because I'm like,
I want you to all be branded with like a, I don't know, like a Star of David or something. So I'm like,
yes.
I'm like, Jews? Is that what you're
don't
saying?
like branding themselves anymore. That didn't work out.
I find that strange, actually, but no, because it's like, I guess. As a regular, I don't want to say as a regular person,
right.
But as someone who has no idea, I do this podcast, but I have no idea that all this stuff exists out there. Mm-hmm. Just the other day, my boyfriend he was going to work on something. He does like some sort of construction management, whatever. And there was he was basically in where they launch like drones, but it's like, it looked just like an ordinary place. He had no idea. And all these things, like all these cool things that are happening are so.
And all these subcultures that exist. You're like, what? You do this?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know all these cool things exist. Like, how do people find you?
Well, the show is huge. Our show is one of the top shows in iTunes. So there's
you're like,
it's right behind ours.
You're like, listen,
just right behind this one. And we're actually hitting the front page of iTunes next week. So if you're listening to this on Valentine's Day, just click podcast and look for The Art of Charm because we're right there. But otherwise, guys find us through the show. They find us through our website, our articles. We've got a
Is it a lot
team.
of referral? Like,
there's a ton of word of mouth, as you might imagine. Like, guys will come. The best is when somebody calls and I'm like, how did you find us? Thinking that they're going to be like Google or something boring. And they're like, my friend came back and I hadn't hung out with him for a month and he was just like a beast and a totally different person.
Right.
And I was like, what happened? And he's like, you know that podcast I told you about once that you said was stupid? Yeah, like I went to go see those guys in LA and they're like, I want what he has right now. Like, where is it?
You guys feel like, to me though, being again as I'm a regular person, it feels a little culty. Are you guys like cults?
Not really. Like, we don't have our own lingo. We don't have our own. There's no.
They're not pickup artists.
Yeah, we're not like pickup guys. Those guys are freaking weirdos. I'll just go on record. Like, super weird guys. We don't dress funny. Like, I look like crap right now because
you look nice. No,
but
you're dressed nice.
But this is like how normal. Thanks a lot, Marni. This is how normal. Like, if a guy comes in and he's like, check out my light up, whatever. I'm like, psh, like give him I smack it out of their hand and
so
into Hollywood
them to be normal.
Road.
Yeah, so you teach them to be normal.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Very normal. That's like I want to go into this afterwards, but we'll go into it now. I met him 7 years ago.
Right.
Was it the same company that you were still running?
Yeah, it's always been The Art of Charm.
Okay, but it was Pickup Podcast that you had.
That's what the show used to be called. Yeah, but then we were like, you know what? This hasn't been about picking up chicks for like 5 years. We should go ahead and change the name.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But that's the whole thing. Like, on your show, you have amazing entrepreneurs. You have just well-rounded people, because you don't just teach people how to pick up girls. You teach them how to be men.
It's all about being
lifestyle that you're
well-rounded.
teaching.
Yeah, exactly. Because think about this. Like, I can teach guys the coolest, like, lame-o story to, like, impress you for 5 minutes, and then you'll be like, I'm over it. Or maybe he fools you long enough to, like, hook up with you, and then what? Like, nothing.
Right.
But if he's well-rounded and he's like, you know what? I have confidence. I quit my lame job. I started a business. I follow this entrepreneur that I heard about on the show, and then I did some travel hacking, got some free airline tickets, and I learned a language using some language hacking tips.
Wait, did I just hear something about free airline tickets?
Yeah. I just interviewed a guy who teaches you how to get free airline tickets.
Holy shit.
We're going to have another guy named Bruce Silverman come on as well. Is that who you interviewed?
No, it was somebody else.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to blow up Bruce Silverman's spot.
Seriously. No, listen to your guy. Obviously, it's so much better.
Obviously, so much better. No, and this guy was a kid who listened to our show and was like, I want to make a cooler lifestyle for myself. So he figured out the airline hacking thing, then pitched me on coming on the show, and I was like, nice, full circle.
Yeah.
So guys want to be well-rounded because they know that that's the key. You can't just have cool little tactics. That's only going to get you 10% of the way. It's like a dude who just eats a lot of protein but never goes to the gym. It's like, dude, you're just going to get fat and look weird.
And then maybe die from too much overdose.
And then wear light-up necklaces at the club.
Ugh, right. Horrible. Horrible. Well, I want to talk more about you and the Art of Charm and like the specifics of what it is that you do teach men.
Well, do you want to do that at the end or no?
No, but I'm going to say
that
was my segue
cool.
into, but I do want to get to today's chapter in the man's playbook.
I haven't heard that in so long.
I know. Oh, yeah.
That guy just wore light up necnecklaces.
I know,
to the club.
seriously.
Right.
We are the worst
Fist
at doing
pumping.
things because we've been talking about changing that for so long,
Right.
but yet have not.
Right.
Because I think we just
I kind
expect
of
somebody
like it,
else
not
to do
like
We're
it.
like, change
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It'll happen one day. Well, so the thing that I want to talk about today for the chapter in the Man's Playbook is about girls seeking attention. Because I've been getting a lot of emails.
That never happens.
No, never.
I don't know what you're
Girls do
talking
not
about.
need
That's
attention.
not why I'm
at
on this
all.
podcast.
Exactly. Well, actually, so we were talking about it a little bit off air, and Jordan had some really interesting comments. But what I'm referring to is women who, drop out of your life for some reason for a short period of time, and then they'll call you or they'll text you or they'll email you with something, some little tidbit saying like, "Hey, what's up?" What is it that's going on with these women when they do these things?
I mean, it's hard to say for each individual person because obviously everybody's got their own baggage. But
Right.
the idea behind this, and let's just throw that out there. The idea behind this is that especially I get a lot of calls from guys who are like, "Oh, there's this one girl and like we're friends, but like I want her to be my girlfriend." And I'm like, "All right, let's back up before you think the problem happened," because guys never know where the problem happened, right? We're always like, "Oh, I said this thing and then she stopped texting." And I'm like, dude,
You're
it has
like, no.
nothing to do with what you said. She never liked you, like not even in the
Right.
beginning. So girls, a lot of times women, especially like the needier ones with lower self-esteem, whatever, and that's sort of another playbook question probably right there and entirely. But if she's texting you and she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" and it's like Wednesday night and it's like, or 1 a.m. or something, a lot of guys are like, "Sweet, booty call, this is awesome." But then she just wants you to like tell her that she's pretty and like,
Or just even
talk with
respond.
her, respond to her. She's probably like waiting for some other guy that she's banging like to get out of the shower, and she's like, "I want a dopamine fix
Yeah.
from a guy who likes me, and I know that Schleppy Schlepp will always respond and tell me how cool I am and offer to take me to lunch, and I'll just never take him up on it."
It
because I
is
don't
like
care.
the female equivalent of the booty call. Like that's what women get off on.
Yeah, it's
is
an
the
emotional
attention
booty
of
call.
Some women, yeah.
But it's like digital.
Listen, I will say that, I don't know, do I still do this? But I would do things like that in the past whenever I had down moments where I'm like, I have no friends, nobody likes
Yeah.
me.
She
But
texts
let's-
me.
I'm like, let's just see who does. And then if they respond back, I'm like, okay, I got you. I don't have to respond back for a little bit.
Right.
But it's a needy moment. That's where it typically comes from. So for guys who are hearing what we're saying right now,
Right.
that, when women reach out doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I'm giving you a second chance, or, oh, I
Yeah.
want you now. What is the
It just
best way?
she's doing it so it's harder for you to move on in your own life. Essentially, like don't forget about me. I used
It's
to
not,
do that.
It's not maliciously.
No,
No.
it's not. But it's almost like don't go out and like totally get happy just because I want you to know I'm like kind of not happy right now, and I just want to remind you of that.
She's keeping him in orbit. Is what it is.
Absolutely.
You're orbiting and you're willingly doing it. You need to break that gravity.
Absolutely.
To
It's
use nerd
making sure
analogies.
that this guy still has, she still has some effect on this guy, that he
Right.
still likes her,
Yes.
that he's still there in some way. So what is the best way for a guy to respond in this situation?
You know, it's funny because
Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, suck it. You never went out to lunch with me last time. No,
Yeah,
don't say
exactly.
that. It's funny. You can test for this in a couple ways. One, if you start dating somebody and the word gets back to them, you'll hear from all of the attention whores because they will come out of the woodwork like, let me see if I can wrest
Yeah.
her from
If I
his
can get you
grasp.
back.
Right, exactly.
You
so
like me better.
If and I found this out just by coincidence because I put my relationship on Facebook, which I did not want to do, but long story, I kind of had to. So I put
Because
that on
she
there.
made you?
No, she didn't want to either. But what was happening was like this is like a little tangent. I'll keep it short. The word was slowly circulating around her little circle of like friends and people she's known for years that she finally had a serious boyfriend. And so what was happening is like an old friend would hit her up and be like, "Hey, I'm in town. We should go out to lunch." And she's like, "Cool." And then the guy would be like, "By the way, I heard you have a boyfriend. I want to bang you before it gets serious." And she's like, "Ew, I thought you were my friend." And then that kind of slowly kept trickling down. And I was like, you know what? There's one way to fix this. And this is what I'm sort of telling you guys right now too.
Right.
The way to fix this is we put it out there. All of the creeps will come out at the same time. It's like worms come out after the rain and all the cockroaches scatter when you turn the lights on. Turn the lights on, all the cockroaches will scatter, and then you'll get it out of your system in 2 weeks. Then all of these guys, because everybody's on Facebook, and everybody's all up in your business, especially if they're crushing on you. So we can do that, get it all out of the way. It's going to be in a really nasty 2 weeks, but then like after that, it's over. You're not going to have to see somebody after a year and be like, "Hey, oh, you have a boyfriend? Fuck you then," because
Right.
a lot of guys do that too.
Yeah.
They're like celebrities, obviously. All these things happen after
know,
they
I
announce
love it.
stuff. It's
I know.
crazy. So what should these guys be doing?
Well, what these guys can do,
Because they're not in a relationship.
Obviously, the best thing to do would be to get over it, and that's so much easier said than done, right? It's like saying
Right.
get taller, like be confident, be yourself, whatever. It doesn't mean anything. So what I would say you can do is if you're worried that she's just in it for attention, be like, awesome. especially if it's like near your birthday or you're having a gathering of your other friends, be like, cool, come with us on Saturday. We're going out to do this, and don't be like, just as friends, like that's lame. Just invite her to do something, let her mind fill in the blanks. If she doesn't show up or like flakes, that there's probably no good reason for it. And if you're really interested to see if that's really like, maybe she has a good reason, do it again a week later. And if she bails or flakes again, she's either so flaky that she doesn't need to be your friend, or two, she's not interested at all in hanging out with you for real. And you just need to fucking accept that.
Yeah. And like she'll realize that if I text this guy, then I'm going to be put in the position to like have to say like, oh, should I? I don't really want to go do something with him, but now every time I text him for attention, I feel like I have to do something, so I'd rather just not text him.
Exactly. Yeah. So you put the monkey on her back, so to speak. The other thing you can do is you get text from her, delete it or don't answer it for like at all if you can, or if you're like dying, then at least wait till morning or something. Because here's the thing: if she's like a little mouse getting her little dopamine fix from the little dripper bottle, if you delay that, it no longer gets really associated with you, because she gets in the morning and she's like, slept over at her boyfriend's house or like at work, and you're like, hey, what's up? Just got your text. She's like, fuck it, I don't need this now. I wanted this at 11:30 p.m. last night, not now. So then she knows, I can't just text, John for immediate gratification. I'm going to go to the next chump down the list who's in my bucket of crappy like dude friends that I don't care
Should a guy
about.
ever say anything to a girl? Like, should he ever say like, why do you always contact me?
No, because here's the thing, like
it'll turn around on him.
It'll turn around on you. And also, like, way to signify how much of a freaking needy loser you are by being
emotional.
Like, I'm emotionally attached to your text messages. And she's like, you're weird. I just want validation from you. And like you guys were saying, this isn't conscious. She's not like, I'm going to get validation from John right now. She's like, I guess I should see what all these other dudes who admire me are up to. It's not even that coherent. Right. So if you're like, what's your problem? Then you're that guy who I thought we were friends, and then he freaked out on me. Then you're that guy.
Then you're the psycho guy.
You're the psycho guy.
Totally creepy, and he's like way too attached.
Because she doesn't see the cause and effect for this. So like, if you make an effect, if you make an emotional reaction, that for her comes out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
So you can't ever really emotionally react to anybody like that. You can get in fights with your girlfriend and stuff because that shit happens. But if there's a girl who's in your life who's not your close female friend or your significant other or relative, there's no reason for you to have this weird emotional reaction. Because why are you? One, you're giving her all your power, which is like a Dr. Phil term. I realize that. But two, who cares? Like, you don't need to do that. All that's doing is branding you as the freaky weird dude.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't care, but you definitely don't need to be dating a girl and then that girl knows her and is like, just so you know, here's like the text he sent me 3 months ago, totally weird, out of nowhere, and she's some new girl that you just met. Yeah, of course they do. Otherwise we wouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. So, I think that pretty much sums it up. So basically, when girls are reaching out for attention, you have to be the stronger person and decide how it is that you want to give them back that attention. I like
don't do it.
I like what you said about delaying, which I think is great, because some guys can't not give into that fix.
It's hard. I get it. I totally realize it's hard.
Because in your mind, you're like, maybe this could re-spark something, or if there's this magical line that I could say, suddenly she's going to be attracted.
Right.
But we're trying to give you the insight to show you that what's really going on for her is, I like how you called it a dopamine fix. It is. It just gives you that little fix for that moment. If she's flaked on you in the past, if she's done this in the past to you before, she's going to continue doing it in the future, unless you change up those habits for yourself and start taking the lead a little bit more.
Exactly. And guys are like, okay, well, step 2, how do I turn this around and get that girl? And it's like, all right, here's the easy way. And I'm doing air quotes, which are useless on the radio, but
not for me.
Right. What you do in air quotes is you just make your lifestyle so complete that she's like, oh crap, the other losers that I'm dating, like they don't compare to John. He's like into CrossFit now, and he's learning another language, and I saw he went traveling.
He's not so into me.
Yeah, and why isn't he responding to me? I thought he liked me. And then John's too busy. He's got his own shit going on. Well, that's way more attractive than the guy who's like, it's 3 a.m. Do you need a ride somewhere? Is that why you're texting me? Oh, okay.
I'll come pick you up. No
Hope
problem.
you're well, beautiful. Yeah, let me know when you're back. I'll pick you up from the airport. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
floor mat.
It's true.
Even the best friends shouldn't pick you up from the airport, let alone like a guy you're using.
No, I live 10 minutes away from the airport. I still won't pick people up. I'm horrible. My husband will. Actually, he'll pick everybody up. It's very strange. I think he wants it back for him because,
good thing you just told 100,000 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll be calling him for a lift. That was a perfect response. Okay, after the break, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about you, the art of charm, living a full lifestyle as a charming man. And we also have Analyze This. And Jordan Harbinger is on our show.
Yay.
Hey guys, it's Marni from the Ask Women podcast. Buying a car is a not so fun experience for most people, and it doesn't have to be. At TrueCar.com, they'll help you get rid of the fear that you may overpay. You know you'll get a fair price because they show you what others paid for the car you're looking for. TrueCar.com analyzes what people are paying for their cars in their market and shares it with consumers so that they never have to overpay. Over 40,000 cars were sold by TrueCar certified dealers just last month. Users see an average savings of $3,046 off MSRP. TrueCar certified dealers go through a certification process, and you work directly with a TrueCar representative that will honor your savings. TrueCar certified dealers believe that truth and transparency are essentials to a better buying experience. First, go to TrueCar.com and find out what others paid for the same vehicle in your market and around the country. Second, register at TrueCar.com to see upfront pricing information and lock in your savings certificate. And the third step is simple. Just print out your certificate and take it to the TrueCar certified dealer for a better hassle-free buying experience. TrueCar has the most comprehensive new car pricing information available and a certified network of dealers that offers a hassle-free car buying experience and negotiation-free guaranteed savings. Support the Ask Women podcast and shop at TrueCar.com.
Only new Arm & Hammer Clump & Seal cat litter guarantees an odor-free home for 7 days.
My name is Erin. I manage a pet sitting company. I honestly feel like I have the most experience with litter boxes of any person I know. Clump & Seal is totally different. Even after 7 days, I did not notice any odor. You're not getting the dust that comes up. There was some sort of sealing magic happening.
New Arm & Hammer Clump & Seal cat litter. 7-day odor-free home guaranteed. Look on the package for $3 off.
Buy a box, see what you think in 7 days, because it's legit.
You're listening to the Ask Women podcast, a Podcast One presentation.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Ask Women podcast. We are here with Jordan Harbinger, the very knowledgeable advice giver. I love everything that you've said so far.
I know. I like all your words, all your metaphors are amazing. Tell me more.
God,
I know. Well, he's been doing this for a freaking long time.
I can tell.
And now he's in a relationship.
That's true, a real one. And I'm glad.
A real one, not like the fake ones.
I'm glad that she likes me because Marni, I already knew that you kind of do, at least on Facebook. But she was like, I'm like, oh, she's gonna throw shit at me, and I'm gonna be like, oh no, it's not like that, or whatever. Call me by Carpenter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah, that's still time. Some guy
she doesn't like most people, so that's pretty good.
That is good. You can kind of tell. You look like the kind of person who's like, you know what, my bullshit thing. Like the bar is so high for you to be like, and you say one thing that's hits your bullshit filter. You're like, this guy sucks. Get out of here with your.
That's pretty much
crap.
you. And I'm just.
It is, and I actually am kind of feeling a little disappointed in myself right now. I feel like I'm losing who I am.
You'll be fine. You'll get some schmuck on next hour, and you'll be like, oh, good. I can finally dump on somebody. I feel good again.
I'm alive again.
Just text somebody and get some reinforcement.
Oh, I'll text my boyfriend.
Yeah, there you go.
Your boyfriend
start some shit.
It's all good. So tell us more about the art of charm. I know we talked about that. It's boot camps. You teach about picking up women, attracting women, but the lifestyle part that you're teaching to men about being overall great men, because I think that's a really essential.
I will call you on this though. Brett Easton Ellis, who hosts a podcast on Podcast One, wrote American Psycho. I feel like you're describing American Psycho a little bit, like guys that are perfect, and then they have sex and they strangle the woman, look in the mirror, and flex.
Is that weird?
Actually, now that I think about it.
What do you mean? That's Los Angeles.
But is it hard? Exactly. Is it overwhelming for dudes to be doing everything and being the perfect guy?
But it's not like it's enforcing that on them, saying you have to do everything. It's just opening up the possibilities of having a full lifestyle.
Here's the thing. Here's something you guys will agree with. The bar for a guy that has his shit together is pretty low. So like
that's true.
So like if you get a guy who's
I trip on it,
right,
normally.
you trip on it. Yeah, you don't even see it. It's like underneath the heel. If you meet a guy and you're like, wow, you have a job that you don't hate, you're not a negative person, he's already kind of winning. Like he doesn't have to be like, I drove a Maserati and I speak 4 languages. It doesn't have to be like that. So a lot of the guys that come in are like, listen, I'm a software engineer. I like my job. I do cool stuff. I don't have the dating life that I need. My friends are cool. My family's cool. But I don't know how to I don't know how to shoot for the stars when I'm going for the girl that I want. And or there's guys who are in relationships and they're like, listen, I just need to kind of like get my back end together. Like my front end looks good. I got a house. I got a car. Like I have a cool girlfriend. But we're just I'm floating. Like, well, I'm on autopilot right now. What do I do? So what the Art of Charm, what the podcast does, will give guys tools like, here's some travel hacking, like the free airline tickets, or like here's an entrepreneur who's made a lot of money, and how he did it was hustle. So we like try to teach a little bit of hustle. A guy, anything that we can do that can spark a little bit of passion in somebody is going to make them more attractive. It doesn't matter if they're rich or if they're really coming through with it. It matters that they're going after something. Because if you wake up in the morning, go to your 9 to 5, and you're like, about everything in your life, that's not very attractive. If you wake up and you're like, listen, I got a 9 to 5. I'm building a software application that I think is going to help people out on the side. I'm going to North Korea for vacation or whatever. I'm learning Mandarin.
Korea for vacation.
That's where he went. That's where he just went.
What?
Yeah, I just went in April.
Like his thing.
Did you go with what's his name?
Rodman?
Yeah.
My friends took Rodman. I didn't go with Rodman, though.
Your friends literally did take Rodman?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
That's hilarious.
And I got invited
the cause
to
of all that controversy.
That basketball game. I got invited to it, but it was like $6,000 to get a flight that short notice. I was like, I'm good.
You should have done the airline hacking thing.
Yeah.
Like, had you had him on your show before?
Yeah, I know. Just a week later.
Yeah.
Too little, too late for
Damn
me.
it.
That's cool.
No, but
you have a nice tan from North Korea.
Thank you.
But even for that, like that seems extreme for some people. But really, like dumbing it down, it's really just having something that you're passionate about, other than your job, your home life. Like that just sounds dull.
Yeah.
And as we get older, we get way more freaking boring. There's less things going on with our lives, and we get way more lazy. So, in terms of attracting other people into our lives, whether it's other guys in your life or other girls into your life, if you don't have other things going on that people can latch onto and be attracted to, then you're going to unattract yourself and unattract the people around you as well.
Like you're bringing somebody into your world. You're not just saying things that are cool. You're bringing her into a world that's exciting and fun. So if you don't have anything exciting and fun about your own life, or if it's all a bunch of BS, like the pickup guys are like, tell her that you do this and that, and it's all a bunch of crap. If you do that,
right? Make sure it's stuff that's genuine. You're not just doing it because it looked good in a magazine. Like, do it because you actually like it. That's something that I do find very unattractive.
You can try it if it looks good in a magazine.
And if you enjoy it genuinely. But way at the beginning when we first started taping this podcast, and we had Danielle Stewart on, who she referred to having online dating and guys having pictures of them just doing action sports, and it was like such a turnoff. And I'm the same way.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just like it doesn't feel real. Yeah, it's like, okay.
It's like a Mountain Dew commercial. You're like, do you get to work not wearing a shirt and doing BMX flips? Like, is that your commute?
I mean, unless that's truly you.
Unless it's truly you.
Right. But exactly. I mean, I used to date a guy in college who was like a trick skier, totally outdoorsy. Like, he got a this is not worth the tangent now, but he had a Honda Element, like way before Honda Elements were popular, when it was like that square box, and him and I were going skiing, and we were on our way to the mountain, and we drove by another Honda Element, and we were like, and they were like, gave each other like the peace sign. We're like, and it just felt like so fucking cheesy to me, and I was like, this is not, even though it was fun to go skiing and that's who he was, but it just felt like he wasn't grounded enough, because everything was like, they had to videotape it with their awesome cool camera to get the jump in the air, and I was like, what about me? You know what I mean? I think I felt a little left out of this like way too cool world.
Because it wasn't your world. But
and it wasn't my
I do
world.
have to say something about this guy. But I don't think, it doesn't sound like he was faking who he is. It just sounds like you weren't the right mix for him.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fit.
I mean, he's still doing it like 10 years later, and he's engaged, and I will like his Instagram pictures.
But I'm like, look at you in that.
We're cool. I clicked like on that shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's the whole thing. Like, the pictures that you just painted is somebody who's living their own lifestyle and enjoying it.
Damn him.
Right. But people can go and jump on board.
I think I don't like that stuff because I'm very cynical, and to me, I don't see any sort of cynicism in that lifestyle. So it's like, I wanted to sit around with him and like bitch about things and smoke cigars and be like, and so
but there you go. That's your passionate lifestyle. Exactly. That's the path that you follow.
Right.
So
you should date Louis Black or something.
Oh, totally. It's like my dream man.
That's what Jordan's program does do. It like highlights these things for you to show what are these exciting things
you
that
actually
are.
Yeah,
because it may not be exciting to Chris, Kristen, but it might be exciting to like Pamela or whatever. I'm just making up
Pamela
names.
the hoe.
I don't know, but like there's other women out there who will find that interesting and exciting. The more that you're out there doing things, the more people you're going to be interacting with, and the more opportunities are going to be presented at you.
I 100% agree. The thing is, like, guys are always stifling their personality and stifling their authenticity, because a guy will be like, well, fine, I'm not into trick skiing, I'm into like, God, I wish I knew like algebra. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, they're into
algebra
okay, we had a client who was a world champion player of some video game called Street Fighter, which everybody's probably heard of. Like,
I'm a world champion.
Literally?
Canada. No, but I could be a champion. I used to kick every guy's, because I had my basement when I was growing up.
An arcade.
Had an arcade because my dad used to make video games.
Oh, no way.
So I would kick guys out. That's how I thought I would like win them over. Was like beating them at.
Yeah, because guys love to be
Video games
emasculated
did not work.
by girls.
Yeah, was
it's
not
the only
working.
thing that they're good at.
Right.
But my ex-boyfriend loved the fact he never played.
Oh
me,
yeah, I
but
would
he
date you to
loved-
use the machines.
Oh yeah, no, not that I had games. The fact that I could play video games, he was the sexiest thing. But Street Fighter, I was amazing at it. Anyways, champion Street Fighter player.
Right. So I'll match you two guys up. But either way, he was really good, and he like got flown to Japan or Hong Kong or wherever, and like would play these matches. And he's like, "Yeah, it sucks. I can't tell anybody about what I'm doing because it's so nerdy." And I'm like, "Dude, tell everyone." Because the thing is, if you let that passion out, that's so authentic that that is attractive by definition. Even if the girl's like, "That's so nerdy that you play a video game and you're so good at it," like you must not be
But
good
let
at
it be.
like that. But it's like that is what's awesome. And so he would tell these girls that about that afterwards, and these Asian chicks who like Street Fighter were like all over him because he's a white guy and he's a fucking hero in Asia.
Yeah.
Chun-Li and
Yeah.
like kicking their asses. That's a Street Fighter reference. That's
Right.
how good I
Yes,
am
I
at
don't
Street
know.
Fighter. Anyway, what is the best way for a guy to express this passion about Street Fighter? Because there's one way to say, I'm a Street Fighter champion. And blah, blah.
Yeah, it'll
There's
sound a
the
little
arrogant way.
rough-handed.
I'd be like, let's take you
is-
onto the actual street and see how you do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
But what is the way to express this to women so that you're passionate and you're not arrogant?
I mean, what you would talk about is someone's going to be like, "What do you do?" And obviously, he had a day job working for Microsoft.
Right.
Literally, it was like Microsoft. Like he made Windows Phone, which he didn't want to use. So, he'd be like, "All right, well,
They're one of our sponsors. Fuck you.
I'm sorry,
Just
not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Not anymore." So he would create like this sort of world where somebody would say, "What do you do?" And he's like, "Well, I work for Microsoft by day, but at night, I crush people. I crush Asians in video games." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I play Street Fighter, which I'm sure you've heard of, never gets old. And I just got back from Japan, and I came in second place in this tournament." And they're like, "You flew to Japan to play video games." That's the story. That's the passion. It's not, "I'm really good at Street Fighter. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
do you help
Well,
them?
what about
Find
guys
me
who
on
aren't
YouTube.
flying to Japan and really just like Street Fighter?
You can be passionate about video games, but here's the thing. Like, I find it really hard to believe that people are passionate about only video games unless they're really good at something that is sort of tangential to that. So if you're really into video games, that's fine. You can go to the gaming conventions, talk about that stuff with people who care. But, like, obviously you can't expect to impress people in normal social situations by talking about how you played Warcraft for like 8 straight years. And that's fine because you don't need to impress those people is what I'm saying. It's like you need to go where people who are going to have relevance to that and appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But don't hold it in. Don't just like stay in your house because everyone's going to think you're a nerd. That's you judging yourself. You're rejecting yourself before you're even giving other people a chance to do that.
Yeah. That's my term. Did I steal it from you or did you steal it from me?
I don't know.
I don't know. 7 years ago. We'll
Yeah.
have to go back and see.
Yes,
Exactly. No, but it's true. It's like you can be passionate about anything. But what about people, as Kristen just said, who are only into those games? Yes, you can go find those other people. Would you advise them to find other passions as well?
I would say, yeah, because here's the thing. A lot of times people will latch onto one or two hobbies because they're really into it, but other times they'll latch onto one or two hobbies because it's an escape. So if you're playing video games because it's a marginally non-social type of thing that you can do, maybe you need a different job, maybe you want to move, maybe you want to start fresh somewhere else because you can learn. Here's the thing, nobody isolates themselves on purpose unless there's some sort of greater pain by not doing so. So as humans we avoid pain more than we seek pleasure. So if we find ourselves in situations with intense social anxiety from going out and meeting new people, yeah, you're going to stay inside and play video games. If you really have to ask yourself, do you love being inside and playing video games all the time, or do you really, really hate going out and meeting new people because you might get rejected?
Number Number B.
Absolutely.
So then what do you do?
In that case, I mean, that's essentially kind of what we teach at the Art of Charm is like throw down some confidence, and it's a skill set that you can get. A lot of people are like, you're either born with it or you're not. It's like, no, sorry, not true at all, right?
It's habitual. You can learn a habit.
It is. You can learn a habit. The other thing is like straight up exposure therapy. I'm not saying you have to like buy my program and come to LA to get over.
No, you're saying
you
have to buy mine.
I'm saying, yes, exactly.
Or you should go on and watch my comedy videos on YouTube.
Yes, go on.
See you next Tuesday comedy.
That'll work. Or just like there's a myriad of free resources, right? Like you and I have been doing shows, podcasts, The Art of Charm for 7+ years, and there's hundreds of hours of us talking about how to get over this stuff. So guys can go out there and try new things. They can go out there and meet new people. They can go out there and they can even explore their own hobbies. They don't have to go out and like try to hit up chicks at the bar. Go to a meetup group and be like, you know what? I always wondered how you make costume. I mean, in LA
bread.
especially, bread. Yeah, bread.
Yes.
How do you make bread? Most guys probably haven't wondered that, but if you have, there's a meetup for
I
it.
grind my fist to make my bread. That's from Jack the Beanstalk.
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
No, it's grind your bones.
Oh, okay. grind
my bread
fist.
to make my bread.
Yeah, I grind your bones to make my bread.
There.
I grind
good
my
reference
fist.
and good catch.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for calling me
I have
on that.
no idea.
I literally
You
haven't
guys are
heard that.
Well,
weird.
because grind my fist
26
doesn't
years.
really make any sense, so
That's
I'm glad
true.
you...
That's true. It doesn't make any sense.
You guys are weird. Okay, we have some questions for Analyze This. Are you ready to answer them?
let's analyze something.
All right, I'm going to have a short one first, and then I'm going to have a really long one after. Okay, just to warm you up.
That's how I do it. That's how I do it. Short one first, get it out of the way,
There you go.
and then a long good one.
That's your thing. Okay, so what is the best way to respond to a girl flaking on you?
Don't. I mean, because here's what he's really asking, or whoever anonymous person is really asking. How angry can I express that she flaked on me?
Yeah.
And the answer is don't. I mean, you know what? If she's like, if she flakes and you had definite plans, what does she say? Does she just not say anything? Does she just not show up? Did she just not answer the phone? Those are two different things. If you got a phone number and she didn't answer your call, she could have died. Yeah, she could have died. You might
most likely that is what happens. That's what happens 9 out of 10 times.
I've been flaked on 3 times. All of them were dead.
Assholes.
Yeah. So you can't really get mad about this because here's the thing. You're treating them as a priority. They're treating you as an option if they flake on you.
Yeah.
If they didn't answer your phone call, they didn't flake on you. They just didn't answer your call. They probably never planned to answer your call. They don't like you. Get over it. Don't bother sending them hateful texts and voicemails for the next 8 months.
So how do you avoid putting too much time and effort into a person? Like, how do you spot that she's potentially going to flake in the future?
You can spot that because you don't have that good of a rapport connection, meaning oh, she was so cool at the bar and laughed at all my jokes, but then it's well, what do you know about her? If the answer is not a whole hell of a lot, or it's all superficial stuff, then chances are she's not really going to necessarily come out and meet you again.
Right.
If all I have is your phone number and your first name, and we made out at 4 o'clock in the morning at some nightclub in Manhattan, you're not going to answer my phone call most likely because there's no reason, there's no depth.
Right. There's nothing there. There's nothing to latch onto.
Nothing at all. If we met at a house party and we talked for a couple of hours or even several minutes and really clicked, and then it was hey, let's get some definite plans to do something, and not just I'll call you sometime, we'll hang out. Say that you talked about something that makes sense, and you're holy shit, I haven't been to the zoo in 10 years. And she's oh my God, I love the zoo. You're let's go this Saturday. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm totally down for that. If she flakes on you then there's something else going on. Call her and ask what's up and be hey, is everything okay?
Right.
I don't really expect that from you. Chances are, though, it's the former, and it's just dude, I thought you were cool. I got your phone number, and we totally texted, and now you're not answering. If it's that kind of flake, it's not a flake. It means the number's bad. Maybe the number's a flake, but it has nothing to do with her, and it certainly doesn't have anything to do with you, so don't get mad about it. In fact, if you do get mad about it, all you're doing is saying, you were so important to me, and I was not important to you, and that hurts my feelings, and I can't handle that maturely. Wah.
Well, what about guys who continuously get flaked on?
If you're continuously getting flaked on, you're not generating connections with the people that you're meeting. That's all there is to it. If I call somebody and I met them and I felt like we had a good connection, chances are it's a really good, real connection. The other thing is make definite plans. So don't get the number, get the date. Right? Don't get a phone number. The phone number is a logistical hurdle to actual plans.
Yeah.
If you make plans with somebody and you're listen, I'm new in town. I'm going to have a dinner party. It's on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Let me get your phone number. I'll text you my address. That is a plan. Give me your phone number and I'll call you and we'll hang out. That is not a plan. That is only a phone number.
Right.
The one is going to have a significantly lower flake rate than the other one because you have agreement, you have a plan, you have a connection with somebody. If you don't, you just have digital info. You might as well just have their email address, and then they can be like, oh my God, you got caught in spam. Because that's all that's really happening if you text somebody. Especially if you're like, you text them and like, who is this? And you're like, Jordan. Who? You don't have a connection with them. They don't know who you are.
Absolutely.
Right? So
can you define connection a little bit more?
Yeah, totally. So the connection is essentially like an emotional connection. It doesn't have to be like, we're soulmates, it's amazing, we're going to be BFFs. It doesn't have to be anything like that. There's a difference between meeting somebody over drinks and being like, that girl is pretty cute, I think I'm going to ask her for her phone number, and then you get that and then nothing happens. No connection. Right. If you meet with somebody, their friend introduced you, you've been hanging out, you've been talking, there's like an actual friendship theoretically budding. Even if there's no commonalities, if there's any kind of friendship, like if you could hang out with that person if they were like a fat dude instead of a hot chick, then you probably have a connection. Okay. If you can't do that...
That's a good way of thinking of it.
It is, because here's the thing. Like, if you're like, we totally had a connection because she was hot and I wanted to, that's not a connection. That's just you want...
She smiled at me. I saw her looking my way.
Like, you want to have sex with her. We get that. That's not a connection. Right. The connection is that person, and you, like, if you felt like, hey, if that was like a 250-pound dude who was, you know, let's be fair, 6 foot tall, 250... you know, non-athlete guy.
Now, this is a street fighter we're talking about.
That's a street fighter guy.
Yeah.
Somebody who could do it in the street, probably not that good at the video game.
Or reading.
Or reading,
right. Yeah.
Et cetera. Yeah, math is hard.
Algebra.
If you could hang out with that person and you felt like that person would we would totally like hang out and do something like that, then yeah, you probably have a connection. And you need weird rules of thumb like that, because there's no like, oh, you have 2.5 bars on your friendship meter, you can hang out again. Like, it's not realistically like that. Very rarely are you going to have somebody where you meet them, you talk to them for a long time, and LA is really the exception to this rule.
Right.
You talk to them for a long time, and then you're like, oh, we're totally going to hang out, and then they just fucking vanish. That only really happens in like Los Angeles. Everywhere else in the world...
That means a connection. It means you're going to be seeing that person.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean that there's chemistry and there's attraction there, but it means there's an initial connection. That is your gateway into a possible attraction afterwards.
Exactly. And you can test for that by, instead of putting a lot of pressure on that, instead of being like, if you're not sure whether or not she likes you, or you're not sure whether or not there's a connection, invite her to do something with a group of friends, but make sure that it's not like an optional, hey, show up if you feel like it. Be like, I'm having a dinner party, show up at 6 p.m., can you make it? If there's no answer, you don't have a connection. You can call and ask, because maybe some people delete texts or don't see them or whatever. But
they don't.
You know what I mean? They see them. They see that.
Yeah.
They see it. Mobile marketers know that, right? They send you that. They know you respond within 10 minutes. The whole, oh, man, sorry, I never checked my texts. Really? Because I can't not. My phone vibrates 8 million times, and it's in my pocket. I checked my text. I just didn't feel like answering you because I don't care about you.
Yeah. You're not a high enough priority.
Exactly.
I do have a friend, though, however, who has 20... I just saw her phone the other day. She has 27 unread text messages.
What is wrong
I was like, who are you?
People who are delayed responders, I find that so strange.
Yeah.
It is so
My
weird.
husband does it. I'm like, are you really going to get back to it after? Do you go back and mark it as unread? How do you not respond right away? I find it so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next question. Hello, ladies. And Jordan, he did not write that, but I added it in.
Yes, thank you.
Love the show. I often download it just to hear your
You added that in,
voices.
too. You added that in, too.
No,
don't worry about it.
Really there. I have been divorced. There's this one person who wrote in about your sexy voice.
My sexy voice.
That they just listened to it.
I sound like I'm 12.
Voice. I was like,
with insecurity issues, which is totally true.
That's sexy for some people.
Some people are in. This is LA.
People are freaks.
Turn on. No, they're from all over. Maybe he was from like Georgia or something. I don't know. Okay, I've been divorced for 5 years. I have been rebuffed on several dating sites. I lost count at about 180 about a year ago.
Wow.
So I think I'm well over 200 now. He seems really proud of it, though. I haven't counted real life no thank yous, which is probably 50, but less than 100. Okay, that's good. In that 5 years, I've been on about 8 dates each year. Okay?
Whoa. That's a low return.
So what is that? 8 times 5? Come on.
32. 40.
Good job.
We were just talking about algebra.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's 40.
I was like,
please edit that out.
Guys, that's
not edit that out.
Edit that shit out.
32.
I'm not the boss, but don't edit it out.
That was fucking humiliating. I know it's 40. Please edit that out.
Do you know it's 40? Maybe you know
I
now.
I do. Oh my God.
Anyway, so 40. Okay, so 40 dates.
Don't make that face.
In 5
don't
years.
make that face.
That's not that bad. I am not hideous, I don't think. Back in my undergrad days, I was an asshole to women for a 10-month experiment. I couldn't find a day couldn't find a day during that time where I didn't have a woman around. Once I went back to being a decent human being, women wouldn't come near me. It was like they could smell decent guy on me and they ran. I am at a crossroads. Either I go back to being an ass, knowing I won't find a decent woman, but I'll at least get laid, or do I just give up? I'm really on the edge of giving up. Thanks, Frank in Dallas.
Whoa, heavy duty. I mean, it sucks because what he's doing, the whole I was a dick to women is an experiment. At least he realizes he's not going to get a good girl by doing that.
I like how he said I'll go back to getting non-decent women.
Right, yeah. So he at least gets that, like, it's not... Yeah, and so he's banging low self-esteem chicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally get what he's saying. He's just failing to see the middle ground because he's expecting to be rejected. I mean, you can hear it in what he writes.
He takes pride in it. Right. He's really proud. I think he wants to get up to 300 by next year.
He's that guy who's like, I mean, he writes letters about how much he gets rejected, right?
Right.
8 dates in a year, that's less than a date a month. This is somebody meeting people online. So obviously there's a lot wrong here. His profile stinks. It's not communicating any value. He's probably coming across really needy.
Absolutely.
So he's got nice guy syndrome times 1,000,000. And so what that means is he's definitely subcommunicating all the wrong things, like neediness, low social value, really probably boring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like real baggage and low self-esteem stuff going on there. And then of course when he goes to I'm a dick to people for no reason. So what he's doing is he's taking some attractive characteristics of like the bad boy persona, putting those into his personality, and then also being an asshole on top of it. So you can take
There's a middle ground.
There's a middle ground. That's the whole idea. Like the reason that bad boys are attractive is not because they're dicks. It's because they have a lot of attractive qualities and they happen to also be dicks. So people who don't have enough self-respect to filter that out will go for it, right?
You're like, yeah, you 32. Go for those guys. Exactly, 32. Good answer. Good answer. I don't even need to add on to that one. I thought it was really good. All right, that was my semi-long one. Should I go for a really long one?
Go for it. We just hammered that one out.
I don't know,
like
but
crazy.
I'm the worst reader. God, it takes me forever. Okay, let's go for this one. Okay. My name is Mario. I'm an African-American guy that stands about 6 feet tall in my late 20s. I have never been in a relationship before. Since I was 18, I've seemed to have developed an attraction for much shorter women outside my race. I just cannot seem to put a finger on why I tend to find much shorter women outside my race to be attractive. Is there any way that you can help me understand why I like short women?
Why I like Marni?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like my husband's mixed. He's 6'3". I'm 5'3". And I don't think that's an issue.
No.
Question answered. Go. No, next one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his question is help me understand why I'm attracted to short women. That doesn't...
A lot of dudes are attracted to short women.
Yeah, I'm dating a 5 foot tall Asian girl. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's 5 foot tall or Asian. I just happen to be attracted. I understand he's probably like, I really like shorter women. You like feeling masculine. No big surprise there. Why do you like women who are outside your race? Who
because
the hell
it's
knows?
different and interesting.
It's different and interesting,
and
dude.
you find it intriguing.
Yeah, you're what, 27, 28, he's late 20s.
Late
like,
20s.
Dude, you're probably attracted to a lot of different shit. You just happen to see a pattern in this, and
Absolutely.
That's fine, but you don't need to understand. I mean, I'm going to shoot his question down a little bit here.
Well, there's no negative to it.
There's no negative to it. Why do you need to understand what attracts you to something? It's not, if he had said, help me understand why I'm attracted to
like
people that do heroin and cut themselves,
like
then, then I'd be like, whoa, we need to dig in.
Very understandable.
This out.
Yeah, exactly. There's something
about blood is
but
just
the
so hot.
negative here is that it's probably hard for him to find women to date him because not everyone is having the same attraction level. You know, a short woman isn't always like into like a super tall
look at this,
black
Kristen,
dude.
learning to read between the lines.
Yeah.
Learning. Girl, I do.
Seriously.
I don't even know how to read.
You've learned that 8 times 5 is 40 today.
40. And Kristen plus podcast equals embarrassing.
Yes, exactly. No. But yeah, no, I agree with you. He's probably, the other question that he's probably asking is, I'm attracted to these women, but they aren't attracted to me.
Yeah, and I totally,
what do I do?
I totally get that. So if he's not finding reciprocal attraction in those women, I guess I would ask, well, where are you meeting these women? Because chances are he's finding reciprocal attraction, just not recognizing
Like, don't go to a Republican
Absolutely.
convention. You know what I mean? Like, you'll probably not find her there.
Like, if you're a tall black dude, something tells me that you shouldn't be crying too much about how you never get any attraction from girls. Probably pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I think you're just not paying attention to the attraction that you're getting from other girls.
Exactly.
Marni has said before, because your relationship is semi-similar, where your husband's mixed and he's very tall and you're shorter and, you know,
Not
Jewish.
Jewish, yeah.
And you said you didn't know you were attracted to him at first, and then all of a sudden you realized it. So I would say to him not to rule people out right at the beginning. Yeah. If the girl isn't into you the first second, give her some time. There might
exactly
be a
like I've always said, don't reject yourself before others reject you.
That is so brill. You know what?
Let me reject you first.
Yeah. The other thing that he's doing, that Mario is doing, is that
I know Mario.
I know, right?
6 foot African American.
Not what I expected.
There's a couple
Mario
Marios.
Lopez, but he's Hispanic.
I feel a couple of holes in this question.
Don't compare him to Mario Lopez. It's a bit. There's some.
What were you going to say?
AC Slater, not too shabby. But you know, the guy, he's making a classic mistake, which is, as people, we think other people think like us, and guys make this mistake where they're like, I think this type of girl looks good, and that's great, and we're like, uh-oh, she's probably going to make an instantaneous decision about my appearance as well. But the thing with guys is 80% of the attraction is like signs of youth and fertility, everything else, ... whatever. It doesn't even matter for most of us in the beginning. For women, there's a million different channels of what's attractive. There's a million different channels of what they're going to respond to. It's not the same speed. So a girl might be like, damn, look at that guy's all built and tall and has a six-pack. But that is one channel. That might get an instantaneous response. Yeah. But the other part that's not getting an instant response, that's a stronger response, is the fact that he's masculine, outgoing, funny, smart, whatever other positive qualities this guy has. That's what's going to be attractive. So when he meets a girl and he's like, damn, that girl's really fine, and she's not like, oh my God, I can't control myself around this guy. What is this, like a 2.5 minute interaction? Go out with her a couple times. If she's like, I'm sorry, I just can't date tall black dudes, then maybe there's an issue there. But right. I'm guessing
that's racism.
That's racialist. That's not what's happening, though. I bet you.
100% that's not what's happening.
What's happening is,
I think you're rejecting yourself first, and you're speculating, or you're assuming that these women aren't going to be interested in you because they are short and white, or short and Asian, whatever it is, that they are not going to find you attractive because you're Italian and black.
Right. Like, what I would want to know is, has he ever had a relationship with a girl outside his race? What did that girl look like? You know, because if he's like, well, she was a short white chick, then I'm like, okay, well, you have counter evidence that you're ignoring. And if he's like, yeah, I did, but she was taller. Dude, it's not the height. Like, it's not.
It's not the height. It's not the, well, it might be the ethnicity, but that's a different story. Okay, next question. If a woman lists herself as bisexual on an online dating profile.
She wants attention. See first part of the show.
Yes. Is it a waste of time to contact her? Hell no, it's a great time to contact her. Is she really on there to look for men? Robert from Lexington.
She's probably on there to look for attention, regardless of who it comes from.
Yeah.
I just think bisexual is like keyword for hoe.
Yeah.
What? Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Okay, depends on how old she is, and it depends the rest of her profile. Some women can openly say, I am bisexual, if you say it like that. If there's other girls who are like, yeah, I like going out and making out with girls every once. Like, there's different ways of phrasing that information. So I would say, okay, hopefully Robert knows that bisexual means she likes men and women.
Right, not so just like, I'm going to bang a chick with you at the same time.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
porn sexual.
So yeah, exactly. So bisexual means that she's interested in a man. You have to figure out if that's interesting to you. Are you okay with her being bisexual? Are you okay with her being with other women? Are you okay with having double the possible competition and possible jealousies that you may have?
Yes.
Anyway, that's
none of the body hair, most likely.
Exactly. There you go. So I would say yes, contact her if you find the rest of her profile interesting, not just the bisexual part.
See, that's the red flag for me on this question. Is like, that's kind of like being like, rephrase this, but instead of bisexual, put like Asian, or put like Mexican or something.
Right. He's still being I'm white. Should I contact her?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the answer is, yeah, sure, if you're interested.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Don't reject yourself first.
Yeah. But here's where I'm reading between the lines. And I'm imputing something on this poor guy that maybe he didn't earn. But what I'm hearing is, I want to go after this chick in the hopes that we'll have lots of threesomes. But she's bi, do I have a chance?
Yeah, I kind of hear that too.
You know what I mean?
Can I put that stuff out there?
Right.
It's okay. So I do want to talk about one more topic based on this question: is if a woman puts a sexual vibe out there, right? If there is like sexual innuendo within her profile, how sexual can a guy be with her in his approach with her? So when he's emailing her, can he match that sexuality or take it up to another level? Like what do you think?
I would say don't do that, because here's the thing: there's sexual innuendo in her profile.
In her profile.
Oh yeah, there's innuendo in there for one of very few reasons. One, she wants attention from lots and lots of dudes. You're not going to be the only one. You're not going to say anything more creative than the other 10,000 schmucks who messaged her that day.
Amen, brother.
You know what I'm saying? And then the other reason is probably that it's fake. or that she's screening for something.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that, that it's fake.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I always think because guys ask me this all the time and they'll give examples of things that they've said where they've taken it to a more sexual level, and right away when I read it, I'm like,
cringe.
Oh, that's horrible. Like I had this, I don't even know if I should say it, but this one guy, I read their whole dialogue and they were like, I don't know how old they were, but they were older, not older, but like probably close to my age, but I guess mature. But they were talking about something and she used the term spread in what she was talking about, but like not, she was not in a sexual way.
Of course.
She was talking about peanut butter.
And he said something like, I'm upset I won't get to spread something. But like, so he took it to that next sexual level, and literally I threw up in my mouth when I read what he wrote, and I was like, there was nothing there that said you should be taking it to a sexual level. I think that women should be the leaders of taking things to a sexual level. You can participate, and then once you get to a certain level, then you can build on top of each other.
Even regardless of where I stand on that, we can agree on this. You don't do it online before you meet.
Right, exactly.
I mean, what were you thinking,
I
homie?
think unless you're on some site where it's about talking dirty to
Right.
each
If you're on Adult Friend Finder, fine. Be like, I want to spread blah, blah, blah. That's cool. And also totally uncreative and totally low-hanging fruit, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, don't be all like, oh, she got offended when I started getting fucking gross. Because... it's just gross. It's like you can't hold on to the first date to be all grody about it. Like and that's his fault, because what that is he's screening for a girl who's just going to put out like right away. Dude, just call a freaking prostitute if you're looking for that. Or like go troll for ass at the bar.
And it's very 8th grade.
It's so 8th grade.
It's like my math level.
Yeah.
Oh, now made you feel bad. Okay,
8 times 5 is 32.
Oh, God, one more. This is the long one. Wait, I got to go to the short ones now. All right. Okay, ladies, I appreciate the work that you do and the information you offer. It is very helpful. I'm 50 years old and was not dating or sexually active until I was 33 years old. I'm 50. I own my own home and all of my possessions, but have low cash flow at the moment. Do you want more water? Are you thirsty?
Okay. I'm just going to throw that around and make lots of noise.
Lots of noises here. Okay. But have have low cash flow at the moment. My goal is to meet and marry a woman willing to have a baby with me. Okay.
Wow, zing, dude.
He's 50.
Yeah,
he knows what he wants.
Yeah,
but that's a lot to put on a woman.
If he can get there,
right? Exactly. So here's the question: how does an older guy go about wooing and dating and then mating a younger woman when he has low cash flow? It's interesting that he puts those two together, like that's going to deter a woman from possibly being with him. But if she does want to have children, it could be a turnoff for her that he can't provide. He can't provide.
He may have low cash flow, but high blood flow.
Right, exactly. So she can have his baby, then leave him. But this is the thing: if you have low cash flow because you're sitting on your ass doing absolutely nothing, and you're not proactive about gaining more cash flow, that's one story. If you have low cash flow because something has happened, which has happened to many people now specifically, then that's a completely different story. So I would take that factor and for your own situation, figure out exactly what's going on there. The dating younger women thing is a different question that I want Jordan to answer. Yeah,
it's funny because there's so much going on here. My question is, why does he want to have a baby when he doesn't have any money? That's weird. Well, I get it. It's like a man biological clock. I know you're like, wait, but guys don't get that as bad.
But he's 50 years old. He wants to have a family. Right. That's not a weird thing.
It's not weird, but it's kind of like, why haven't you handled that other shit that you need to have in place in order to support a family?
Well, I actually edited out a whole bunch. So he explained where the cash flow issue came from. So there was something drastic that did happen to him. So it's not like he has always been in a negative cash flow. He finds himself at a low point in cash right
Is there
now.
hope for the future for this guy?
I think it sounds like there is. Right. I think Dennis has a chance.
So then he's got to woo a younger woman. Unfortunately, the value proposition of an older guy is usually stability. So I would say, dude, in short order, you don't have a lot of time. For one thing, go out there. You don't have a lot of cash flow. Spend your last $600 to have some of your swimmers frozen, first of all. Because if there's any left, I'll be blunt, there's probably not that many.
Didn't Larry King have a kid when he was like 85
Also, probably fucked a lot and kept that shit flowing
right,
freely.
That's true.
And has a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe paid $100,000 for some IVF to make that happen.
Right.
Slashes on the anti-aging hormones and all this other stuff.
Quick little roundup, because Art has given us the finger, which is like not the finger, but the round finger saying, hurry the fuck up and stop talking, ladies. You talk too much. So then what does he do about dating younger women? So you're saying for him he should focus on freezing his sperm.
Freeze his sperm.
But his career as well.
Yeah, focus on your career. And then, because you can't bring somebody into your world when your value proposition is stability when you don't have that.
Okay. Oh God, I'm going to say something horrible right now.
Do it.
Marry someone who... This is going to be weird. Marry someone who needs their green card.
You know what?
Are you saying that because my husband?
No, but I had to look at you while I said it.
That's a low blow right there.
Seriously, Canadian. Damn it.
No, but I'm honestly like.
I mean, that's totally legit.
You know, if you can't find anything and there's not any options, there's plenty of women that are looking also to settle down that don't have roots here.
One word: Philippines.
Yes,
and that's the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we will get more to that question next time. But if you want to ask questions, write into ask@askwomenpodcast.com. You can find Jordan Harbinger on the
Art of Charm,
the Kenyan podcast,
right? The Art of Charm podcast in iTunes.
Wonderful. And thank you so much for being on your show.
Thanks for having us.
Fantastic, great information.
Did you bring friends that I didn't know about, or your imaginary friends?
My imaginary friends.
You said thanks for having us.
Oh, did I?
There's 8 of him here. Wonderful.
You all
right,
lovely.
we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. You can download new episodes of our podcast every Thursday on podcastone.com. That's podcastone.com.
And shop for our stuff on Amazon. Shop for your stuff on Amazon on wingirlmethod.com/Amazon.
This is an important announcement for anyone with a student loan who is having trouble making their monthly payments. If that's you, pay attention, because there's a special toll-free hotline that has been set up especially for you. So grab a pen and take this number down, or put it in your cell phone. 1-800-652-3707. That's 1-800-652-3707. When you call the National Student Loan Relief Hotline, you will get free information. That's free information to help you relieve the overwhelming financial burden of an ongoing endless student loan. If you are behind, late on payments, or even in default of your student loan, the National Student Loan Relief Hotline can help you. You may also be able to cut your payments in half right away. The National Student Loan Relief Hotline can also stop the harassing phone calls, wage garnishments, and even remove tax liens. The National Student Loan Relief partner companies have helped thousands of people just like you fix their student loan problem. Call 1-800-652-3707 for free information today. That's 1-800-652-3707.